Well, this isn't my best camera framing ever, but last night I discovered, to my shock, absolutely shock, that there is, attempting to survive in the Phoenix metro area, a bakery that specializes in Australian meat pies, sausage rolls, and pasties, which aren't really Australian, but you know, if you're putting meat in a pie shell, you might as well go all whole hog. So of course it's vitally, vitally important that I get over there as soon as possible and spend some money to help them stay in business, because they don't stand a chance. I'm sorry to say, because we just don't do meat pies in this country. I don't know what's wrong with people, but we just don't do meat pies in this country. Pretty much the only thing you can ever get is a chicken pot pie, and that's not the same thing at all. So, the three of us, Michelle, Chuan, and I, are on an expedition for the great Australian bakery. We are approaching the location of the place. Can I turn left here? Looks like I sort of can. Do not block the intersection. Okay, I won't block the intersection, but I will turn left. And there's the Great Australian Bakery. Now we just have to find a Great Australian parking spot. There's one right there. If we could come around at it. More of this. Down here somewhere. Lucky. Always. No, I guess loading and unloading zone. This guy's gonna come out. That guy's gonna take the spot. We can't take that spot because we're going the wrong way. It's all of their spots. 3 hours. Well, I'm not worried about that. Well, parking isn't convenient, so I guess that's authentic. So we had our pies at the Great Australian Bakery. I'll say right up front, I enjoyed my pie. However, I was very disappointed when I walked in because they have a cabinet with pies in it, and I suppose I should have thought of this. They didn't have the pies I wanted. They were out. They have a limited number of pies that they make during the course of the day, and they come and go. And of course, the lousy ones are the ones that would stay behind longer. So the pickings were a little slim. I was after a steak and cheese, or a steak, or a mince and cheese, or a mince pie, which are more either in the classical style. But instead, they didn't have any of those. They had a red curry chicken, which I decided to try, and I enjoyed it, but it was certainly not, I am reliably told, not a particularly traditional or common meat pie in Australia. Chuan had a steak and mushroom, which was as close to a traditional one as you could get, but of course that's got mushrooms in it, and it's just like eating people's fingers that have been cut off. I don't like mushrooms. Although I did have a chunk of the meat out of it, and it was pretty good. It tasted a lot like the Australian meat pie recipe that I use here for the gravy, so that's a good sign. Michelle had a chicken mornay, which is basically chicken pot pie. And then we also picked up a couple to go. Now I picked up what they call the cottage, which is apparently the classic mince. And, no, it doesn't have cheese. The classic mince, and then but the difference between that and a mince is that it's added carrots and peas, which I don't like carrots or peas, but if they're in small enough quantity, I can give it a try. I'm not promising anything, but I'll give it a try. And I also picked up a sausage roll, which I've never had a sausage roll. You don't get sausage rolls here either. In fact, I think they're less common than meat pies. So I have nothing to compare it to, but I got one. And I brought it home, and I've just reheated it, and I'm about to try it. So this is the sausage roll test. I'm reshooting this video without the video light on. It's harder to see the meat, but it doesn't add that sickly green color to the pastry dough, so maybe this looks a little more appetizing. Alright, now, so what we have here, and I'm using a fork, and I imagine this is probably supposed to be finger food, but I'm doing it on purpose so we can look at it. So it looks like, you know, basically some sort of a sausage and pastry. So let's see what this tastes like. I'm just gonna have a bite of that sausage by itself for a second. It's not bad. I would never think it was a sausage, though. It tastes more like a mildly spiced hamburger. Alright, I'll try that. I don't just not enjoy that. That's tasty. It's just, it's not what I thought it would taste like.